We are good. All right. We've got oh, that's right. We got that top light again going. Well, we'll see. We'll make an adjustment at mid time. But anyway, hello to all you out there. We are getting ready to go live. And hello, South Florida. Welcome to another live edition of the Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 show about real estate, America's longest running daily radio show, all about the topic of real estate. My name is Eric Willner, and I am your host. And we are here live Monday through Friday. That's 5 days a week. And we are here broadcasting on 4 local stations here in South Florida. AM 1470 plus 3 FM stations, starting on one end at 95.3, 96.9, and then going all the way up the scale, you go to 103.9 on the FM dial. Now, those also simulcast on your iHeartRadio app and your TuneIn app. So all you have to do is go into either one of those apps. They're free. You download them and search for Money Talk Radio, WWNN. And you can join us right there. We got a great show for you today, as we have been showing all week long. We've been talking about the topic of credit. And I posed a question on Monday: is credit ever slow you down? And I will tell you that it certainly has for me before. And so I'm going to keep talking about that topic throughout the week. Now, Monday we talk more about our agenda. Our Mondays on a mission, talking about real estate, probably more from a C-suite perspective point of view. And then Tuesday we get into our tools, tips, and techniques. And I spent yesterday's show going a bit deeper into credit, how it's calculated, and I gave you a couple of cool credit boosting ideas. So hopefully you've taken those to heart, and actually it's something that you can put into practice right away. We're going to continue on that topic, but as a regular listener, we're going to talk about different areas of business. Hey, Kevin, and there's John as well. We're going to talk about the real estate market from a market perspective and what we can do. Now, it's kind of crazy, and this is something that I'll bring up from time to time. How if you were to peruse the headlines, it's easy to understand why people are so confused right now about the real estate market. Here's what I'm talking about. Here's a first headline: pending home sales index hits record high in the month of August. Now, they have a 30-day lag, so any day now we should be getting the newer figures. But we're talking about pending home sales, and pending home sales, let me just remind you, are contracts written, not necessarily contracts closed. And so the reason that they look at the pending home sales, and they've so much so that they've created an index based on it, is because contract signings are pretty much parallel. Now, there's always some fallout, contracts canceled because of inspections, contracts falling out because of not qualifying. And I'm going to talk to you about qualifying today also in that whole credit conversation. But we're seeing pending home sales is pointing up. Now, we're still pre-election, and we can talk a little bit about last night's debate. But the pending home sales are up. August pending home sales soared to a record high, fueled by rock bottom mortgage rates. Okay, so there, everything is looking up. Then let's just dig a little bit deeper, and this is a kind of headline. It might not hit the front page of the paper, but mortgage demand falls despite interest rates setting another record low. Now, I'm not going to get into the conversation of what comes first, the home or the loan, the chicken or the egg. But in reality, what you should be doing is getting the home loan first, getting qualified, knowing what you can buy, and then going out and shopping, basically with a checkbook that has the amount of money in it that you can spend. And I don't mean that the actual money is there. I mean that you've now got a bank saying that we'll write the check for the mortgage, portion of the loan, you've got the down payment, everything's been qualified. So it should go in that order. Still, in today's day and age, I still see realtors putting people in their cars, going out looking for properties, and then only to find out later on that people had champagne taste in a beer budget. But check this headline out. Mortgage demand falls. And remember, that should be a precursor of the market, even though today I think a lot of people still sign a contract and then run to the bank to see if they can get that loan. Mortgage rate demand falls despite rates setting another record low. And I want to come back and dig deeper into that one. But I wanted to show you the contrast in pending home sales, mortgage demand going in opposite directions. Another along the same vein, mortgage demand falls nearly 5% as interest rates set another record low. So here we go. And just to top all of that stuff off, a weakened home affordability could impact urban flight. Now, remember, we've been talking about this mega trend going on right now of fleeing from the densely populated cities to the more suburban, spread out areas. But affordability, because now we've got pending home sales going up, we've got inventory short, we got prices going up. But wait, we know, and if you've been listening to our show on a regular basis, we've been talking about the fact, and I'm watching very closely, that November 3rd is going to be a very pivotal day. How the country reacts to the elections. Now, notice I didn't say who wins the elections. And by the way, who do you think won the debate last night? I told some of my friends that I was looking forward to the debate more than I do some of the UFC fights, because I was anticipating it being a spirited debate. Let's just call it that. But I'll tell you at the end of the debate. Well, before I tell you, I'd love to hear some of your opinions out there, what you think. For those of you guys on Facebook, let me know what you thought about the debate, whether you liked it, hated it, and who do you think won. I saw a couple of fun memes today all over the social media. And I could already tell what the sentiment was in terms of whether they liked and gained much. For sure, it looks like if you came in, a Democrat, you left the debate a Democrat. If you came in that debate a Republican, you left that debate a Republican. In other words, I don't think the debate itself materially changed very much. And so I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of changes before the next debate takes place, including, and by the way, another thing I wonder what you think about, I saw a lot of the pictures. I've never seen before candidates have headphones in their ear or mic'd, getting tips on how to answer questions. I mean, don't we want to know what the candidate is saying? So I think that that should be forget all the, the drug testing and all that stuff, which be interesting, and that we're testing our Olympic athletes. Are we going to start drug testing our, and it's funny, that shows you where we've come to, where we're now talking about drug testing our presidential candidates as well. I think that's kind of funny, but I digress. Anyway, coming back, weakened home affordability could impact the urban flight. And I think that as we see all of these trends, they're all going to converge, and assuming, and I pray for, an orderly election, without the mail-in fraud that we're worried about, without the dangling chads and the hanging ballots that we had back in previous elections, that whoever it is that wins is then allowed to proceed and get this country back going. From what I see here, in my perspective here in Florida, when they said that the state has reopened, it is like everybody was at the starting gates already. The rush hour traffic is right back to pre-pandemic levels. the people out on the streets, and what I'm seeing is now we're going to see how number one, depending on the elections, we could see another shutdown again, which I would not like to see. Depending on the fall flu season, how that's interpreted and hopefully not misinterpreted or politicized. But all of that is going to have a dramatic effect, along with the fact that by that point, right after the elections, you can already start doing the countdown to December 31st. And then I would say that investors, on your marks, get set and get ready to go, because right now I'll tell you that investors are asleep at the wheel. And I'll add one more thing as I'm now preparing for next week's Texas auction. The auction in Texas on the first Tuesday of every month statewide is also going to be a bit of a telltale, and you'll hear our perspective day to day as we're approaching that date next Tuesday. Well, today is the end of the third quarter. I mean, we are now entering the fourth quarter. It is going to be a dramatic fourth quarter, and I'm looking forward to a lot going forward. But it's also the end of the first half of our show. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, hear a few words from our sponsors. When we come back, I'm going to dive into some of these headlines a little bit deeper. I'm going to talk in the framework of the credit a little bit about mortgage qualification. And remember that I said that if you are rent qualifiable, I can make you house ownership qualifiable, guaranteed. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take that break. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. My name is Eric Willner. Don't touch that dial. We got a lot more for you right after these words. Michael, how are you? Alex, good conversation. Kevin, my friend, we got a lot of coverage on the west coast of Florida lately, which is kind of cool. And in fact, I know I got to head up there. We got some real estate project to take care of up there, and we're going to look at picking up a couple more properties over there, over in the Pasco County area and so forth. Yes, sir. Good conversation today. Simone from Boca Raton is on the line there. Hey, Simone. And let's see who else we got there. John, you're making a whole bunch of people excited with your work on our rehab down in Fort Lauderdale. Really happy with the colors and everything that we picked on that one. That's going to look sharp. So excited about that. Let's go back from there. Let's see where I'm going to go next. And welcome back. For those of you just joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, still transmitting from our pandemic studios at home. And I'm just wondering now, with everything opening up, whether we should. In fact, I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. Put it in our comment box. If you go to automaticlandlord.com, that's automaticlandlord.com. Let us know whether you like these live broadcasts, whether you'd still watch them if they were pre-recorded, and if the radio show itself, whether it was not streamed on video, if it was just back to audio only, what you guys think. It's been fun. I'll be honest that it's been a lot of fun interacting, particularly on the Facebook page. We've been broadcasting it live also on our YouTube channel. We got just kind of creating a little bit of the content there. That's been an experiment. And now coming back to, we started our Monday talking about credit. Does credit slow you down? If it does, the time to be fixing credit. And that's why, we work very closely in conjunction with our sponsor, timetofixmycredit.com. Check them out, timetofixmycredit.com. It's a service that I use. It's a service that I refer to. It's a service that I refer people to. It's that good. And over the 21 years as a mortgage broker, I've become very, very knowledgeable about the area of credit scoring, and helped a lot of people improve their credit, and many people through timetofixmycredit.com. But anyway, on Tuesday, we kind of went deeper into the mechanics of the credit. We talked about what was a good credit score. Surprisingly, that 67% of Americans have a good credit score or better. Good being somebody with a 670 credit score or better. And so it's kind of interesting to know that if you're below 670, you're in the lower 1/3 of the credit score population. So we talked about the numbers. We talked about the composition of the credit score, how much of it was related to, and we told you again that 65% of your credit scores are made up of just payment history and the length of time that you've had those credit scores. So that is, I think, a pretty important thing to understand. That means that's how important. And I talked yesterday about the annual credit score.com, annual credit report. I'm sorry, annualcreditreport.com, where you can get your free credit report once a year. It's your right. It's your and I think it's your duty to go ahead and get it as well, so that you see what's on there. And I want you to check for all the information on there being correct, up to date, and accurate. That's your responsibility. If it's not, and it's preventing you from getting credit, you get a free copy of your credit from each of the three bureaus once a year. And there's two thoughts of schools of thought on that one. One is to get one every 4 months. So get TransUnion, then four months later, get Experian, then 4 months later, get Equifax. That way, every 4 months, you're checking your credit. I have other people will tell you to get all three so that you can correct them all at once. And that way, now remember, these are soft hits to your credit, so they don't affect your credit score at all. Hard inquiries when you're applying for stuff does, but this does not. So a couple of other things, like I said, payment history on loans and credit cards, top of the list. Total debt versus how much you can get, very influential. Now, new credit and credit mix, the types of accounts you have, has less effect. Now, I wanted to go to a report that I saw also from the Mortgage Professionals of America. It's an association of mortgage bankers and brokers across the country. And they recently, coincidentally today, came out with an article saying what borrowers need to know about refinancing. So with mortgage rates at record lows right now, and I talked about that a little bit earlier, the refinance boom continues despite challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. Last month, refis represented the majority of closed loans. Lack of inventory. So it's easy to understand with record low rates, the majority of the business out there was refis. And the answer, pretty darn likely in most states. In a new study, Lending Tree sifted through data from more than 15 million mortgage applications using the latest Home Mortgage Disclosure Act. And that's a required disclosure that you fill out on every mortgage application. That about 86% of refi applications were approved, and some states had approval rates above 90%. Now, that tells me two things. Either mortgage brokers are doing a much better job at the job of They're doing a much better job of pre-qualifying people, and that's a good thing. And that in general, remember I just said 2/3 of people have good credit, so that means I think that the credit guidelines are now benefiting those people with good credit scores. So many people, a lot of our listeners I know for a fact, because I talk to a lot of you, are concerned about their chances of getting credit, which is why I said today that if you qualify to rent, then you qualify to buy, and I can guarantee that can happen. Now, sometimes I'm not guaranteeing the lowest rates because it depends on what your credit report shows. But even without a credit report, and the information in the credit report, I should say, there are ways that I can help folks, and I'm doing that all the time consistently, and I've been doing that for over 20 years. You might recall we should talk about our 90-day fresh start, and we're in serious conversation right now, getting ready to roll that program back out, which basically says that within 90 days, regardless of your situation, if you are coachable and cooperative, then I can get you qualified for a mortgage and get you into a place of where you can own your home. And the nice thing about it, and here we are in a market situation that if you are careful and get into a home that you can afford, the likelihood is you can stay there for a long time, regardless of what the economy does post-election. So the report author of that is the vice president at LendingTree and the chief economist at LendingTree, stressed the importance of letting borrowers know the advantages of refinancing. And of course, we can go into more of that in tomorrow's show about the money edition of the Real Estate Show. Every Thursday we talk and we focus on the financing side of things. But borrowers don't always take advantage. This is a quote out of the article. Borrowers don't always take advantage of refinancing despite the obvious financial benefits. For example, a borrower who took out a $300,000 loan 5 years ago in September of 2015 at around a 4% rate, 3.91%, could save about $300 per month on their payment and more than $15,000 in lifetime interest by refinancing at 2.87% right now. So not a huge difference, about a 1% difference there would save, there you go, the $300, that's about a 1% difference. Now, here's the cool thing. If you're a regular listener here of the show, you know that we talk about how to optimize interest rates and how we can literally make your interest rate that you get. So go out and get the best interest rate and that you can get in the marketplace. We can show you how to make it better. And if you want to know how, and if you missed that show and you want to go back through all of our shows, which are all archived on our website at automaticlandlord.com, then I invite you to set up a complimentary call with me, again, at automaticlandlord.com. Just go to the button that says set an appointment or schedule a time. There's a complimentary 30-minute conversation that we'll have. And I always want to have the first conversation is on my dime. And we'll talk to you about what your situation is, what your snapshot is, and then we'll figure out the right path to get you on the path of home ownership. And we're going to talk a lot about the path to home ownership over the coming weeks. Back to that article, the study broke down which states had the highest and lowest refi approval rates. I thought that would be interesting. Generally, borrowers with decent amount of equity in their home and a solid credit score can expect a higher chance of approval. Hello. Now, that's good news for potential refinancers, as it means that their odds of approval are strong no matter what part of the country that they live in. And like I said, you should be taking advantage of those opportunities. South Dakota, Utah, North Dakota, and Nebraska all had approval rates above 90%, LendingTree found. Florida and New York had the lowest refinance approval rates, but approval rates in both states were above 78% there. So just want to remind you that tomorrow is our About the Money segment of the Real Estate Show. We're going to talk all about the money, refinancing, the mortgages, interest rates, and all that good stuff. Also, following the show, remember, is our BIG meeting. That is our Business Insiders group. You'll definitely want to attend that. If you want to attend that, all you have to do is go to automaticlandlord.com and ask for the free login information for the BIG meeting. Just type in BIG meeting. I'll know exactly what you want to do. So as I wrap this up for today's show, you're welcome to join us here, same place, same time tomorrow. We hope you'll be there. I'll be there for sure. So until then, drive safe, wash those hands, and make it a great day. Bye-bye. Good night, John. Thank you for being there. Erica, a happy camper today. And my son said hello there as well. What's up, buddy? Love all you guys. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye to our folks here on YouTube. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow from Texas.